think. Wait, no. I have finally done it. After weeks of meticulous planning and only releasing songs since the first two theories, I have finally found the answer to Indigo Park's closure. Well, at least my own idea of it. So it's been a while now since I made the first two Indigo Park theories, and while I kid about not having put out much content for you guys except for what I would consider more mediocre content, I am truly sorry for the wait. Life just caught up to me and I ended up not having enough time to make videos. I hope that I can be a bit more consistent and, at the very least, give you guys the content that you want to see. But enough of my excuses. We have a theory to do. Ever since I created the last theory where I covered what I thought the mascots truly were, the question of what happened to the park that caused it to close stuck in my mind like an arrow to a tree. I immediately came to some basic conclusions such as, well, obviously the mascots hurt or killed somebody and the place got shut down, which, to be fair, definitely happened. But that's just a bit too bland. Obviously there has to be something else going on behind the scenes that would cause the main event to happen in the first place. And as I look deeper through what little I have to go off of, oh boy did I find that something else. Now you see, we have pretty much covered all of the main mascots so far, such as Rambley, Lloyd, Molly, and Finley, but that still leaves possibly the most important player in the grand scheme of this franchise, Salem the Skunk. Now, it is difficult to be certain with anything when talking about Salem, as from what you go through in the game, you get less information about her than the other mascots. But what if I told you that wasn't true? You see, one of the main pieces of information that we get about Salem comes from the Rambley Rush minigame. For a quick recap, in the minigame you play as Rambley and run through Rambleberry Woods in a platformer-style game. Once you reach the end of the level, you encounter Molly Macaw, who has crashed another one of her planes.
I'm not crashing, Rambley. I'm barnstorming.
Ah, fine. Barnstorming. After realizing that Molly is fine, Salem the Skunk appears and splashes Molly with a potion that supposedly removes her friendship from her, leading to a boss battle against her. Now, the majority of players more than likely didn't think much of this at the time, yet I think that this minigame tells us what really happened in the park. You see, from the many Molly Macaw voice lines that we hear, they begin to paint the story of the incident that caused the park to close.
Son, get up, you stupid freak. Get back in your cage, bird. The customer is always right.
These voice lines seem to be telling the story of a normal day at Indigo Park before its closure. Like normal, there were several kids and parents around, and while Molly was about, she was abused by the workers there as they saw her as a freak. This view of Molly was shared by even the majority of the parents. Unfortunately, everything was about to change, as it appears one annoying child bothered her parents enough to let her go see Molly, and after probably a short argument with an employee, the employee yielded to the parents, saying that the customer is always right, and once the child was close enough, Molly lashed out on everyone, more than likely resulting in the deaths of several people. Now, while this is a dark note to leave on, I would like to explain what part Salem plays in those events. You see, I think that the mascots were originally designed to be unable to attack humans, and because they were seen as such freaks, the workers abused this factor to treat the mascots extremely poorly. It is possible that, since Salem is a skunk, she was treated the worst by the employees, and because she is very resourceful, she found a way to work around that design. She then more than likely lashed out at the employees that were treating her harshly and fled, being unable to be found. Now, if we loop this back to what happens in Rambley Rush, it is possible that, like in the game, she finds a way to remove the inability to harm humans, say the potion from the game, and does so with all the other mascots. This then leads to the potential scenario with Molly going on a rampage and attacking the guests and employees, as well as the other mascots possibly doing something similar as well. Now, from what we hear in Rambley's dialogue after the chase scene with Molly, it appears that he had no idea of the other mascots having gone on a rampage or being hostile at all.
Transparency is an important part of our policy here at Indigo Park, so I need to be honest about something. The park has been inactive for years. Employees stopped showing up, guests too. The mascots are I just was so excited to see a visitor, and I wanted to be sure you were given the best experience possible. But I was confined to the entrance for so long, I didn't realize just how much disrepair the park has fallen into.
If we look back at Rambley Rush from the perspective of the mascots, Rambley is against them, trying to stop their wrongdoings. I believe, though, that the Rambley we control isn't meant to represent the real Rambley, but instead, either Ed or the Indigo Corporation. Both are against the mascots that were once friendly and peaceful towards them, yet in the end, once that is removed, having to fight against them to survive another day. I lean more towards this representing Ed, though, because once Molly is defeated, she gives a bone-chilling cry as the game crashes. She wasn't brought back to normal before Salem tampered with her. She died. And what happens later in the game? That's right. The Molly mascot is beheaded at the end of the chase sequence, killing her. Now, Rambley is a tricky case, as he is just that much different from the other mascots. He is just an AI, and while he's incredibly lifelike, he would not have the ability or the means to harm a human in the first place, having been programmed to act as a guide. Now, how he wouldn't have known about the mascots going on a rampage seems a bit messy at first, but if you look at where each of the mascots who went on a rampage reside, they are all areas that Rambley cannot access. It is possible that during that time, they began to evacuate everybody and shut down power to other areas of the park to try and keep the mascots contained, simultaneously limiting where Rambley could go. Well, there you have it. The monstrous mascots went on a rampage led by Salem the Skunk in an act to get revenge for the terrible treatment they had been under, while good boy Rambley was all unaware of anything going on. Man, if only these things were ever easy and straightforward to figure out. But I guess that is where the fun, excitement, and mystery of it lie. I must thank you all for watching, and Tame Bugster, out. I must thank you all again for your patience with me, as I know the wait for this video has been long, but hopefully worth it in the end. I love seeing your guys' comments, so would love to hear your own Indigo Park theories that you have, as well as what you would like me to cover next. I know that this theory may have been a bit more far-fetched than the others, but that's why it's called a theory. If you haven't already, go and check out the first two theories I did over Indigo Park, and if you're wanting to see something a little bit different from me, go and check out my Indigo Park song, Help Me. I thank you all again once more, and I wish you well. Peace.